we seem to look at our relationships today as an Amazon Prime purchase.
Right. What's your advice for people that are putting things on social media, like when they get engaged, they put the picture of the rings up, or they're taking selfies of them kissing their partner or their spouse? Do you think there's something as oversharing on social media when it comes to your relationship?
I think that everyone has their own level of comfort. And who are we to judge, really? Like everyone's on social media, and at the same time, everyone's a judgy, right? Everyone wants to be a judgy about what someone else is sharing. So I don't want to be that judgy. So I think it's about comfort, your level of comfort and what you feel comfortable putting out there and what your partner feels comfortable putting out there.
Right.
And by the way, if I don't want to see it, I don't have to. That's the great thing, you know? Right. I can mute you.
Put them on mute and move it along.
Exactly.
I want to ask, because news broke this week that Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thompson have decided to end things again after reconciling. Do you think that there is more pressure for celebrities to try to work it out after it's the fan, for lack of a better term, because let's say two people are celebrities and public personas, like the likes of Beyonce and Jay-Z, Khloe and Tristan, Kim and Kanye? What do you have to say about that?
Whenever a relationship has undergone an infidelity, there's always a shame to that. Which, by the way, strikes me as odd, given that in the latest report of the Marriage and Divorce Journal, 70% of couples will undergo an infidelity in their marital lifetime.
Wow.
Think about that, Joe.
Wow.
70% of us will undergo a marital infidelity. So these kinds of relationships, these things that we see out in the open, again, about privacy, the lack of privacy, they're happening right next door. They're happening next door in your neighbor's home. They could be happening in your home, 70%. So is there this extra pressure? I think that everyone feels a pressure to work it out with their relationship, especially if they're sharing a home, memories, kids who have no say in the matter. That pressure is there regardless. Does the outside noise, shouts in the dark about your relationship, is that overwhelming? Absolutely. But so's your mother-in-law, so's your uncle, so's everybody else around. You know what I mean? So while we can see celebrity as different, we can also see them as the same. You know, the issues are the same. Perhaps the volume is a little bit louder, but people like, for example, Tristan and Khloe, I mean, they're so used to turning that stuff right off. You would have to be, right? You know, you'd go crazy if you were listening to every single thing on social media or in the news.
Based on that number, 70%, it sounds very
No, you're still
high.
shocked, like you're shocked.
It sounds so high. Do you think that folks are staying together after that 70%, or that's ruining things and sort of ticking up the divorce rate, the breakup rate?
In the very same way that we redefined family in the last 10 years, we are redefining what it means to be married because of that percentage. We are redefining what that looks like. And by the way, if this behavior, infidelity, is so rampant, it means that we cannot view it as black and white, as completely, it's complex, and relationships are complex. However, our, Christian Judeo religion wants us to believe like this is wrong and this is bad. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm simply saying that we have to understand why 70% of humans in their lifetime will experience a marital infidelity. So we need to have better understanding of the behavior, but we can't understand the behavior if we're shaming it, right? You can't understand that kind of behavior. So in the way that we're redefining family, like we did 10, 15 years ago, we're redefining what it means to be in a marriage. So I absolutely believe that, and I've seen it, that couples can recover from an infidelity. More times than not, they do. So that's also a fascinating statistic.
That it really is. I'm interested in your comments about shaming and sort of everyone sort of trying to judge each other's relationships. I'm curious as to your thoughts on monogamy versus folks attempting open relationships, or not even attempting them, they're successful in them. I know a lot of people in my life that are in them, open relationships. Do you think that's taboo and it's a no-no, or do you think that that could work for some people?
I think for some people, it can work. Every relationship is complex, and everyone has different needs, different desires. I mean, I would question it the other way, which would be, is death do you part? Death till you part. Is that ethical? Well, I would question
Right.
that. I mean, that one person needs to satisfy every single need that you have. They have to be the best travel companion. They have to be the best in bed. They have to be the best
That
listener.
sounds like a more intense thing than the other. Oh
It's
my
insane.
God.
So
Right.
so that I question, is that ethical?
That's interesting.
That moral to do to someone? So again, I am not for or against. I'm here to just really open up questions. You know, if 70% of us are experiencing this kind of behavior, we need to understand a little better. And we're not going to be able to understand it if we're consistently shaming it as a society because we want to see things in black and white.
Right.
Just as we redefine family, we are redefining what it means to be in a marriage or in a relationship.
100%. With that being said, what is your one piece of advice, or maybe one, two, or three things that you would say for those out there in the dating world in 2021? Because there have been a lot of things that have changed, especially after what we've experienced in the last year and a half.
Yeah. The number one piece of dating advice that I would have is we seem to look at our relationships today as an Amazon Prime purchase.
Right.
We
Yes.
don't really want to give it a chance because we're so scared to lean into love. Somewhere along the way, we got brainwashed into believing that the person who cares less wins. But I'm here to tell you that the person who cares less gets less. So my advice is to lean into love. Lean into all that you feel. And if that person isn't ready to embrace that or doesn't want that, you got your answer sooner than waiting it out for 5 years. So lean into love. Lean into everything that you feel because you deserve that.
Definitely. That is a fantastic advice.